Greetings, NOOCH-centric individuals. Every day, I, Emperor Palpatine, grow more and more concerned for the galactic calendar. Its days are numbered. Yeah, I got you with that one. Yes, and now NOOCH will share with you how you can farm a Galactic Legend in 12 months or less, free to play, or just some general tips for you who are paying to play with a Hyperdrive bundle or otherwise, how you can farm Galactic Legends most efficiently. Hey everybody, it's NOOCH, and NOOCH has been on this free-to-play Kylo Quest Galactic Legend farm here for a while, and with the recent nerfs in the game, with CG nerfing some of the characters that counter Galactic Legends, or were able to counter Galactic Legends, still don't understand that, but whatever. The Galactic Legends are more and more and even more important now in the game than they were even 3 weeks ago. So I wanted to give you a way that you can play free-to-play, and you can unlock a Galactic Legend within the first 12 months of playing. It may be quicker. NOOCH is going to get Kylo around the 10-month mark. So first we should discuss, though, this is not for every Galactic Legend. So if you're looking to get a Galactic Legend unlocked as quickly as possible, there are 3 that you're really going to focus on. And that's going to be either Sith Eternal Emperor, or Kylo Ren, or Rey. The other 3 require a lot of journeys, and actually, like for Jedi Master Luke, you got to go on the Jedi Knight Luke journey, you got to go on the CLS journey, you got to get 3PO, you got to get R2, you got to get Chewbacca and Millennium Falcon, I believe. That might be wrong. Millennium Falcon's not right. But you just have to do, there's a lot of characters you have to unlock by special journeys, and it's just going to take a lot longer, especially those Ewoks unlocking 3PO. For Jedi Master Kenobi, you've got to get Grievous unlocked, and he only comes from the Shard Shop, and you really kind of need that for gear. The Negotiator could be really tough for some of you guys out there, depending on what kind of guild you get into. Wat Tambor, that's the big one in the Jedi Master Kenobi. Wat Tambor is you only get shards from him by playing Dark Side Geonosis territory battles, and the absolute fastest you could have him to 7 stars would be 7 months, and that's not likely with where you are. You're probably looking at least a year before you get him to 7 stars, unless you get in some super guild right off the bat. And then Lord Vader, a lot of these characters are very vulnerable. Padme requires a journey, which you should be able to get to, but you've also got to have Gas, General Anakin Skywalker in there, and that's a difficult journey to partake. That's gonna cost you a bunch of time, and then all the extra relics. I mean, all the relic 7s and 8s that you need for Lord Vader. So we're really talking about Sith Eternal Emperor, Kylo Ren, and Rey. Now the Kylo Ren and Rey farms are very similar. They both require a bunch of characters, maybe a journey or 2, but very easy ones. And then the ship is the hard part. Getting to the Raddus or the Finalizer is the hard part. Sith Eternal Emperor is absolutely the most easy Galactic Legend to unlock. So if you're really looking to find the quickest path to a Galactic Legend, it's going to be Sith Eternal Emperor. And NOOCH will do a whole separate video on that. But all these characters, you got one journey here with Palpatine. The rest are going to be unlocked by either achievements for Vader. Everybody else here is just a regular old farm. And so if you really want to get to a Galactic Legend as fast as possible, Sith Eternal Emperor is going to be the way to go. But either one of those 3, Sith Eternal Emperor, Kylo, and Rey, will give you good results. So that's the number one thing. Those 3 you can farm in less than a year with some of this advice. And if you really want more specifics, NOOCH has a very specific Kylo Ren free-to-play farming guide. We're going to post it over here. You can take a look at the video. It's a lot more in depth. It's a longer video. We got some tags in that. You can follow along with that, and the principles in there will apply to every other Galactic Legend farm as well. We're going to kind of break down those principles, some of those principles, in a little easier format here, just so you can have them. And the very first thing we're going to say: plan ahead and stay focused with your roster. Plan ahead and stay focused. Now let's look at NOOCH's roster. This is on the free-to-play Kylo Ren Supreme Leader Supreme Leader Kylo Ren quest account. You can see here, look at this. The relic characters that NOOCH has, I'm almost there. I've only got Veteran Smuggler Han Solo. The rest of these guys are all close to done. And other than that, I've got a couple of G12s with Vader and Bosk. And then nobody else is above like G11 for Yoda because the gear fit. There's a CLS team. I got all these guys. I got a bunch of characters that I haven't unlocked at all yet, or I haven't leveled up. I got characters at level 1 here. I haven't geared them up. I may have starred them up just to get shards for the shard shop. Some characters I'm really not touching beyond the initial parts of the game, and other characters I just haven't unlocked at all. You've got to stay focused on the farm and what you're doing and what you need to accomplish, because if you get sidetracked, it's going to cost you time, and you want to get to that Galactic Legend as quickly as possible. So stay focused, set a plan. What is it? Make your plan and plan your... I don't know. There's a saying about making a plan and planning... I can't remember it. So NOOCH just blanked out on you, but make a plan and stick to it. And stay focused on what you're doing, because the more you meander off, like if I got really excited, I wanted to G12 CLS here and get Han Solo G. Let's get my Rebel team up, get Stormtrooper Han more geared up. Well, that's just going to cost me gear that I can use for these guys, and then once I'm done with the gear for them, the gear I need for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So just set a plan and stay focused and stay dialed in on what you're going to do. Number 2, use SWGOH.GG as a solid resource for farming gear and reviewing and managing your roster. So let's take a look at SWGOH.GG. Here it is right here. You can see this is NOOCH Mobile's account, and on here I've got the Kylo Ren Galactic Legends gear needed. I'm gonna dial in a little bit there. You can, oh look, there's Hardee's. Hardee's has biscuits. And here's this guy down here. You get a lot of ads, but that's okay, because this is a free site. It's provided to you free of cost. This site, for one thing, is going to be used when you apply for guilds. They can go on here and see your roster. They want to see what your roster is made of. You can also go on here when you're playing Grand Arena to see what are good counters for other teams, what are some good defenses to set. You can see your opponent's history of setting defense and playing, so you can see what's going on there for Grand Arena. But for the Galactic Legends, you can see the gear you need to finish off your Galactic Legends. And it's all right here. NOOCH is doing, well, these ads are popping up, but Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, I guess it's because I zoomed in. If I zoom back out, they should get, yeah, so you can see them now. For Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, this is showing all the gear that NOOCH has left to finish off Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Look here, I've only got the stuff left for Han, for Smuggler Han. It's just this. This list used to be so long, and we'll talk about all that gear in a minute, the stuff you're going to need to really focus on. But use this website as a resource to find out what gear you need, to register your roster, and to play the game. And number 3, you're gonna have a side farm. There's gonna be side farms in the game. The most important one that you can do are the Geonosians. And on this account, NOOCH did not do them. I've said many times it was a mistake. But if you look at the Geonosians, there's several benefits to farming them early on. And the biggest benefit is they're a really good team. You're gonna be able to use them in Squad Arena for probably 5 or 6 months. You're going to be able to use those Geos in Squad Arena. You'll be able to use the Geo ships in Ship Arena, so farm their ships as well in the Galactic War Shop. The other benefit is that in territory battles, in Geonosis Darkside territory battles, you need those Geos for a couple of different missions, including the Wat Tambor mission. To get Wat shards, you need Geos. In the first tier of in the first 3 tiers of Geonosis Darkside territory battles, you need a team of Geos for something. And you'll need them at bigger gear levels for tiers 2 and 3, but regardless, you need them to help your guild out. So farm those Geonosians as a side farm, and farm their ships too. That's going to be an early side farm. Yeah, just so do that. We'll talk a little bit about their gear here in a minute, but I guess number 4 here, don't bloat your roster. You want to avoid roster bloat. And if you look here, NOOCH's galactic power is 1.536 million. Now, the reason I say don't bloat your roster, so let's go and look at some of these characters here. If I was to start gearing these guys up, or more importantly, if I was to start like gearing up some of these characters, like if I start leveling up Asajj is a great character, Darth Sion's a great character, Droideka is very useful, Mace Windu not so much, Newt Gunray's a great character. These are good characters in the game. Range Trooper on that Imperial Trooper team is really good. But if I started gearing up and leveling up all these characters, if I started starring up all these characters down here, these are all characters that I don't really use, maybe trying to figure out a way to use Moth Gideon right now. If I started starring up, that's his name, Young Lando, Resistance Pilot, I started using Bastila Shan Fallen, who's a great character in the game, but I don't really have a spot to use her in. If I just started doing that and leveling up characters as I went, if you get the Hyperdrive bundle, guys, and you just level up everybody, you've got all these characters with all these stars, you can level them up. If you just level them all up and start gearing them all up, you're just, not only are you spending lots of gear and credits especially, you're going to be in a credit crunch this whole time, so you're going to be wasting credits. You're going to be bloating this galactic power. So if I have like 20 characters that I don't use in the game, and I've got them leveled up, every character is worth a certain amount of galactic power. You can see that right now Wrecker is worth 451. I probably shouldn't have activated him, but I did when that event came out. Wrecker's at 451 galactic power. But if I get a character like, let's take a look. Whoa. Well, there you see, Droideka. I've got him at 7 stars, but he's still at level 1. Even at 7 stars, his power is worth 4,656 on my roster. So that's getting that number up. And then when I get up to my relic characters, when I get up, okay, this is just my mouse is clicking on things on accident. So if I look at First Order Executioner, 21,844. So the more you gear up and star up and level up characters, the more they count against your roster. And the more you have a chance of getting into higher tiers in Grand Arena, which can really punish you if your roster is just floating all over the place. You got all sorts of stuff leveled up, not focused in. You get into Grand Arena against somebody that's got a dialed in, focused up roster like this, they're going to wipe you out, brother. Wipe you out. Oh, by the way, Geonosians also work really well in Grand Arena on defense. They're a great defensive team, especially in those early days of Grand Arena. So that's another reason to get Geos. So yeah, don't bloat your roster. Don't level up. Just stay focused on the characters you're going to be using. And then when you get into Grand Arena, you get some extra teams. Get those teams leveled up. But how far should you level up those characters? Really, most characters are going to stick to Gear 8 as the max. You can see I got old Ben here at Gear 9. Han Solo Gear 9. I've got some characters at Gear 9, Gear 10. They're generally the cheaper characters that didn't cost me that much to get to. I take it back. Yeah, they're Gear 9. But most characters that NOOCH has down here are Gear 7, Gear 8, Gear 7, Gear 8, Gear 8, Gear 8, Gear 7. And the reason for that is for me to take them up to Gear 9, Gear 10, Gear 11, I have to spend this gear. And gear like this is just too valuable. You see, I need this gear for my Gear 12 Smuggler Han Solo. I need it for Darth Vader. I need this gear for important characters to gear them up. I'll need it for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. You don't want to spend this gear on your secondary or tertiary or characters that are far down the road and you're not going to be using them. If we look here, these Cinar holo projectors, this kind of gear is really important. Taking like Elijah's look at the salmon, trying to find the one. There's more of those. These are really important pieces of gear early on. There's Mark 4 of those. Where there it is. These Mark 3 Carbantes, you're going to find these all over the place. After you get to Gear 7, a lot of those Gear 8, Gear 9, Gear 10 upgrades require Mark 3 Carbantes. And guys, you need like 1,500 of these. 1,500 of these, and you're only going to get them the main place to get them is in the daily challenges. But let's kind of give you an idea. So NOOCH says don't bloat your roster by gearing up and leveling up everything. Focus in on what you need for your farm and for your Grand Arena battles. But here, so there is certain special gear that you're going to need a lot of during the game, and you want to make sure not to spend that gear unnecessarily on characters. We're going to start here at the bottom, actually, the Mark 5 AKT stun guns, so the Mark 5 stun guns and these Mark 3 Carbantes. You need hundreds or over 1,000 of these. You only want to spend these on characters that you really are dedicated to using, which means primarily your characters you're using to get the Galactic Legend. You don't want to be blowing these on characters that you're not going to be using in your roster because you need so many of them, you'll just be wasting them. These Mark 3 Cinar holo projectors right there in the middle, you need a ton of those as well, not only as gear for your characters, but then they apply to special gear that helps you relic your characters to relic 5, 6, and 7 as well. So you need to save as many of these Mark III Senior holo projectors also. Down here in the bottom right, signal data. I don't have the word down here, but this signal data is what these are used on your characters after they get relics. So when you get them to relic level, these are gear that is needed at every single relic stop. Relic 1, relic 2, relic 3, relic 4, 5, on up to 8 right now, and 9 coming in the future. And you're not going to be using this elsewhere. Like these pieces of gear, the stun guns, the carbantes, the holo projectors, you can accidentally use them on characters that you don't need them on, or you shouldn't use them on. These well, now I'm forgetting what they're called. The NOOCH is forgetting things. We got the screen up. For the signal data down here in the bottom right, the signal data in the bottom right is only used for relic characters, and you farm it after you get those relic characters available. So, but just be careful with that, because you need a ton of it. You need like 1,000, 700, and 500 of those to get you enough characters relicked up. And then up here at the top, the Chirotechs, the Mark 7 Chirotech and the Mark 9 Chirotech. You're going to need a lot of those depending on the farm you've got. So you want to be saving those over time, and definitely do not spend any Chirotechs on any character that is not involved in your Galactic Legend farm. You want to save that character. This gear is all special gear that you need to pay special attention to, and don't be blowing it in the wrong places, because it will cost you time. It could cost you, if you spend some of those Chirotechs, it could cost you 2+ weeks just to farm them up again to get them ready for another character. So watch that special gear. And finally, guys, there's one more piece of really solid advice that you need if you're going to farm a Galactic Legend, especially free to play, but for any character, for any of you that are looking to get Galactic Legends, who are looking to be effective players in this game. You have got to get in a good guild. You have got to be in a guild that is committed to territory battles, that is winning territory wars, a guild that primarily that is doing all of the heroic raids. And this applies to you very early on. As soon as you unlock a 7-star character, your very first 7-star character, you can throw that 7-star character into a heroic raid and qualify for getting the rewards from the heroic raid. And the rewards for these heroic raids are so very, very important to your farming. You can see right here, we've got the carbantes, we've got these stun guns, we've got these Mark 5s and NOOCHs, all of this gear. This gear that they're showing here is for the Rancor raid, the heroic, is almost all completely rare gear that you don't get in a lot of places in the game. You need to be doing heroic raids. It's a little less important in the HAAT because the rewards just aren't quite as good, but you still come across some really good stuff in there, mixed in with a bunch of stuff that's kind of bunk. But that's, that's the developer's choice. That's fine. But there is a lot of good gear in here, a lot of mediocre gear, but you're still going to get a lot of the rewards, like you get the currency, you get your guild shop currency, which you use to farm characters. And finally, the heroic Sith raid. This is so important. This is the most important raid that you can be in. If you finish in the top 10 on this, that you're going to get so much extra, so much gear that applies toward your, pardon me, NOOCH is gulping there. This is all Gear 12 gear that gets you, helps you relic your characters. You need to be in these heroic raids. You've got to be in a guild from the very start, is doing all 3 heroic raids. And where do you find guilds? You can go to the forums. There are pages where guilds are publishing, and there's plenty of guilds out there that'll take on a new player who can participate in raids, who will get 600 tickets a day. If you're refreshing your energy 3, 4, 5 times a day, you're going to get those 600 tickets, and those apply to opening guilds, and guilds want people in there that can get those 600 tickets if you commit to doing that every day. Another couple things, you got to manage your crystals well, which means manage your refreshes of energy well. You don't want to be spending crystals in the shop. You don't want to spend don't ever spend in here if you're free to play to buy these characters. Even if you're pay to play, I don't recommend these unless you're really desperate for that kind of stuff. You're just not going to spend crystals very often. You see NOOCH has 5,000 crystals on this free-to-play account. This is at the very end of the journey. I'm hoarding crystals so I can get ships unlocked, the finalizer specifically. That's a separate video. We'll pop that over there, the finalizer problem. Anyway, guys, that's it. This is going to apply for... this really applies to all Galactic Legends, but if you want to farm a Galactic Legend in less than 12 months with Sith Eternal Emperor, Rey, or Kylo, these tips will help you get there. It's the best way to build your roster. And while you're doing that, go look at NOOCH's channel and see all the... you can follow progression of farming Supreme Leader Kylo Ren free to play. Hopefully that can help you. It can help you with any of these Galactic... Even if you're not going after Kylo, if you're going after Rey or Sith Eternal Emperor, even Luke, Lord Vader, Kenobi... all the advice in there can help you. You can kind of see time frames for getting these characters relicked, and hopefully we're going to really help you with that. And if it did help you, please subscribe, like the video, do some good stuff for the channel, do some good stuff for your life, and always remember, NOOCH too good. Its days are numbered. And now, NOOCH will show you,